There are many expensive things that you may spend your money on over the course of your life. Buying a house, paying for a wedding, raising your children, going on holidays, the list is endless. But none of these are the most expensive thing. So I guess you want to know what is. Retirement. Wait, before you click away, let me explain why you need to start saving for retirement now. So for most people, they will retire around the age of 65. And if you're really lucky and live a long life, you may still have another 30 to 40 years of living yet to do. And this is 7 more years for women due to the longer life expectancy. So how are you going to afford those 30 to 40 years of expenses with no income? The key here is you'll probably be living off either your pension or your investments. And contributing an extra £50 a month now could be the difference between you having to scrimp and save during your retirement or being able to live a lavish life and go on lots of holidays. Which would you rather? Okay, so how much do you actually need for retirement? For this, we're going to use the rule of 25. So what you do is you take your annual expenses that you expect to have during retirement and you multiply this by 25. So how much do you expect to live off per year? So you can use your current annual expenditure just to get a rough idea of the ballpark figure that you would like to be living off when you retire. So for me, I spend £36,000 a year currently living in London, in a high cost of living city. But for my retirement, I picture myself being outside in a smaller village or town, which will likely have cheaper costs. However, I still want to be able to go out to eat for dinner, take family out, or go on holidays. So I don't want to be reducing this amount by too much. So I would say around £30,000 per year for me during my retirement would be the amount to aim for. Now, all you need to do is multiply this number by 25. Why 25, I hear you say? The reason for 25 is because we expect to be withdrawing 4% of our total invested amount each year to be able to cover our costs of living. And over the course of a year, it's expected that our investments will grow and regain that 4% every single year. So you won't actually be depleting your overall retirement bucket too much. So assuming you only withdraw around 4% each year, you basically have a never-ending pot of money that you'll be able to survive for the rest of your life. So for me, if I calculate how much I need that 30,000 multiplied by 25, which gives me £750,000 I need to have in the bank by the time I retire. That is a lot of money. So how do you even get there? In fact, the only way you can get there is to invest your money, either in investment accounts or in your pension. Don't believe me? Let's work through an example if I just saved my money. So say I work for 40 years between the ages of 25 and 65. I would need to be saving £18,750 each year to be able to cover my expenses once I retire. Yeah, that doesn't sound much fun. £18,750 is an awful lot of money to be saving each year. So if I saved 20% of my income, which is the general savings rate that's recommended, I would need to have an income of around £93,000 a year to be able to save that money and afford to retire. Now, given that the average salary in the UK is around £40,000, that just does not seem realistic. So what if I told you I could reach that £750,000 just by investing £300 a month or £3,600 a year? Now that is an awful lot less than the £18,750 we would need to save if we did not invest that money. Let me show you how it works. So the stock market has an interest rate of around 10%. However, we do have to battle with inflation, which is around 3% each year. So if we subtract these, we'd have around a 7% net interest each year. So if we invest this money, we benefit from the power of compound interest. So to explain what compound interest is, basically every year your money is invested, you get an extra bit of interest on top of the money you have in. And then the next year you get even more interest on top of that money that's sitting in your account. So the interest just keeps piling up and your money carries on growing. So for me, if I invested £300 a month or that £3,600 a year, this money would grow over time and the interest would keep on adding up. So although I would have contributed £144,000, my money would have actually grown to £750,000. So I'm getting that extra £600,000 on top just due to the power of compound interest. Now think of it like you're trying to improve your football skills. So the first day, you're a disaster, you can't do anything. Whereas the next day you get a tiny bit better. And then the next day you get a little bit better on top of that. So gradually, as you keep practicing your football skills, you will get better and better at playing football. Compound interest is the same. You keep getting interest on top of the money you've already got in. So it keeps getting a little bit more every single year. Okay, So we were talking about how much I needed to invest to be able to live off £30,000 a year during retirement. So let me show you, if I plug that £300 a month into a compound interest calculator, how I would actually get to that £750,000. Now it's over to you. How much money would you need to live off each year for your retirement? And using the rule of 25, how much money does that mean you'd need by the age of 65 or whenever you plan to retire? I'll include a link to the compound interest calculator that I used in this example in the description box below, but you can also just Google compound interest calculator or retirement calculator to be able to find this yourself. So are you ready to get started, or are you stuck on how to actually do the investing bit? If you need more information on how to actually get around to investing via your pension, check out this video here.